So 2022 has just begun, and earlier this year I reached out to all of my students who are enrolled in my FE Electrical and Computer Exam Preparation course. For the vast majority of the students, when they take the exam, they pass the exam, they let me know, and then we start discussing the next steps, which in many cases is the PE Power exam. And students, for the most part, do decide to take the PE Power exam right after FE, which in my opinion is a good strategy. There's some states that allow you to do it right away, and there are some states which require you to meet the 4 years of experience requirement. So in this video today, we are going to go over the most common reasons why students were not able to take the FE exam in 2021. These are the students who were enrolled in my FE Electrical and Computer Exam Preparation course. They had the resources, but still they were not able to take the exam. I'm not only going to point out the difficulties, the problems, and then challenges, I'll also share my advice and my take on how you can mitigate and address some of these challenges. Before we dive into the content, I would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And please don't forget to click the bell icon as well if you want to be notified whenever a new video is uploaded to this channel. The first most common reason why students were not able to take the FE Electrical and Computer exam was because of their full-time work. Now, it was either because the work got super busy because transitioned into a new role, or they got assigned projects which they had not anticipated, or somebody in their team left. Whatever that reason is, their full-time job results in greater time commitment, and that basically means that they were not able to spend as much time on their FE exam preparation as they had initially anticipated. So if your work has all of a sudden become super difficult, or it's starting to take a lot of your time, then I would recommend that you actually have a conversation with your supervisor, with your manager, and tell your supervisor or manager that in addition to your full-time workload, you're also working on this career development FE exam preparation journey, and it will help you get the EIT certificate, and you're on your path to becoming a PE license holder. So it is also a significant portion of your career development, and have an open discussion with your supervisor. And you'd sometimes be surprised how accommodating and flexible your supervisor could be when he or she finds out that you are taking the initiative, you're career driven, and you're actually investing in yourself, in your career. And it will obviously help them as well, because remember that if an employer goes out, especially in the current job market where there are fewer and fewer qualified employees and the job market is actually super hot, so if they were to get somebody from outside who is a PE license holder, it will cost them a lot. Okay, so it's in their best interest as well to grow individuals within their team and to help them achieve their career goals as well. So have that open discussion with the supervisor, and either allocate some of your workload, or the supervisor would try to accommodate you in one way or another. The second most common reason why students were not able to take the FE exam was because of their personal commitments. Now, when it comes to personal commitments, a lot of my students who are especially at 5 to 10 year mark, some of the students have families, some of the students have young kids, and during COVID, during pandemic, when young kids are doing online schooling and our regular life patterns have been disrupted, it becomes more and more challenging for us to take that extra time out of our day and invest towards exam preparation. So what is a fix? Well, the fix for this particular problem is, again, open discussion. Have an open discussion with your spouse, with your family members, and even with your kids. Try and set a routine, because when the kids know and when your family members know that there's a certain time that you have carved out for this particular project, then you'd be surprised that they will automatically, maybe not right away, but in a matter of few days or in a couple of weeks, they will start basically falling in that pattern where they'll say, okay, 6 to 7 p.m. is the time reserved for you to actually study, and they will start respecting that. So have an open discussion and try and come up with a schedule and a routine that you can stay consistent with and actually repeat it on a daily or a weekly basis. The third most common reason, maybe when they get started or when they envision themselves, taking on this project early on in the year, the level of commitment or the desire to get it done is very high. But as they start progressing through the exam preparation journey, their motivation for whatever reason would fall. And it's quite natural, because when I talk to students and they have not been able to take the exam in the past year, or they were not able to sort of meet the timeline, because when students enroll in my course, I send them an onboarding form and ask them that, what is the time period that you're looking for to take the FE exam? Is it 1 to 2 months, 2 to 3 months, 3 to 4 months, 4 to 6 months, and so on and so forth. And when they select that timeline, essentially, when I have a discussion, live one-on-one call with them, we discuss, how many hours you would actually have to put in order to hit that timeline. FE exam and PE exam preparation is a very long journey. On average, and again, I have a separate video on that topic, it takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months, 4 to 5 months, depending on what your starting point is, but it is a sustained effort. Some students have actually transitioned into new jobs, and maybe when they started that FE exam preparation journey, it was so that they could get the EIT certificate and get a better job, or maybe they were just graduating and wanted to get their first job. Now, because the job market is hot, they have been able to sort of get that dream job, and they feel that, maybe FE can be put off. But at the same time, another factor that's happening in the job market is that a lot of employers are actually, even for the entry-level jobs, are asking for the FE exam, are asking for the EIT certificate. So my recommendation to address this lack of motivation or lack of commitment towards this goal is just to remind yourself, if you put this off 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it's going to get even more and more difficult. Okay. And at certain point in your career, especially if you want to work as a technical engineer, you will start hitting a ceiling, both in terms of your salary, in terms of your promotions, in terms of your job opportunities, in terms of your growth, if you don't have a PE license. So the best time to get on this journey is right now. Maybe it was a year earlier, or maybe it was when you just graduated, but you cannot go back in time. So the best way to motivate yourself is to tell your future self, or think about your future self who is struggling to get this exam done, because at this day, at this moment, you decided not to basically pursue this goal. So do yourself a favor and dive into your FE exam preparation, or if you've passed the FE exam, dive into your PE exam preparation today, and your future self is going to thank you.